Some people might have a little rock and roll pneumonia.
You wanted the best, you got the best from my home studio on Long Island, New York. Welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto, and today we're going to be talking about the mighty Fear Factory and how they were visionaries when it came to what we're seeing today with AI. Let's get right into it. Fear Factory, to me, is a band that deserves far more respect than they get. When I think of bands in the 90s that were doing something innovative in the metal scene on a major scale, I think Pantera. And then right after them, I think Fear Factory. I think part of the reason they don't get the respect that they deserve is that some of the biggest pops of their career really didn't represent them very well. You have their cover of Gary Numan's Cars getting major airplay, which doesn't sound remotely like anything else in the Fear Factory catalog. I don't think they like that song very much, and if you look online, they've only performed it live 3 times since 1999, with the last time being over a decade ago. Then you have their collaborations with Cypress Hill, some of their fashion choices of the 90s and early 2000s, and probably just the fact that Dino plays a 7-string Ibanez, which grouped them into the nu metal category. Although Fear Factory really is not in any way a nu metal band. Although they certainly inspired a lot of nu metal bands, and that could be a whole other video. Fear Factory's first album, though, was actually a total death metal record. But anyway, that's not really the point of this video. Today we're going to focus on how Fear Factory's lyrical content was so incredibly ahead of its time, and that they envisioned a lot of the changes we're seeing today, starting all the way back in 1992. Earlier this month, Dino, the sole owner and now only original member of the band Fear Factory, tweeted out from their account about this. This tweet you see was about their debut, Soul of a New Machine. 1992, the Soul of a New Machine album cover showed a fetus born from a machine, symbolizing the birth of a synthetic soul, the first of its kind. Not just a warning, but a vision. Man and machine merging into something new, something inevitable. But war was on the horizon. Then he put up this tweet about their record from 2 releases after that. Our 1998 album Obsolete warned of a future where technology replaces humanity. Machines built to erase us. Mechanized humanoids replacing workers one by one. It wasn't sci-fi, it was a prophecy. And it's happening now. You're likely nodding your head because they were dead on. And ponder this for a minute. Think back to 1992. Where was technology at this time? Well, I, for one, was a young kid back then playing the original Mario Brothers on my Nintendo. And that was just about the peak of technology then. People rarely owned PCs, email was far from mainstream, widespread cell phone use wouldn't come for years, and AI was barely a thought. Of course, there were films like The Terminator, which heavily inspired Fear Factory, but I don't think any metal band was writing songs about AI, let alone having that be the concept for the entire band in itself. But 33 years and 10 studio releases later, they were definitely onto something. And it took until now for people to see just how relevant the warning being put forward through their music was. Every single Fear Factory release has been a thematic work about the intricacies of man versus machine. They always had a few tracks on each album tackling other subject matter, but by and large, that's what Fear Factory has always been about. I remember a classic stand-up routine by comedian Jim Breuer talking about AC/DC, where he goes, "Every song is the same, but it rocks." That's kind of Fear Factory to me in a sense. Every few years, you can expect a new Fear Factory release. It's inevitably going to be about the struggles of man versus machine, like every other album they've put out. But it's probably going to be great, and it's going to take on a new angle of this same topic. And with every release Fear Factory puts out, here in the real world, we seem to come closer each and every year to the reality of man becoming indecipherable from machine. And it's some pretty scary shit, quite frankly. For examples of this in their lyrics, we can start by going back to one of their classic albums, 1998's Obsolete, where Burton screams, "Nothing is the way it seems, discerning man from machines. Dominate as to erase, wiping man off Earth's face. Fueling engines through deceit to eradicate humanity. Man is obsolete, erase, extinct. Nothing is the way it seems, discerning man from machines now. Dominate as to erase, wiping man off Earth's face now. Defaced by all inept justice, shamed by the mental abuses, branded inferior weakness, ordered to cease and desist. Man is obsolete, our world obsolete. Man is obsolete, erased, extinct." They come out of the gates with the first track, What Will Become, off 2001's Digimortal, with the lyrics, "Man has taken time from all that you see. Look in his eye, see the future hold nothing. What will become, what will we be, when we can see our own eternity?" Or the heavy and morbid track from that same album, Acres of Skin, "All alone and unaware, all primed up for dying, without face, without mind, without dreams, without memory. There is no morning sun, no falling rain, for acres of skin." The final track on 2010's Mechanize has a very eerie message that seems to ring very true 15 years later now, with all of these ad campaigns celebrating replacing humans with AI. Your life no longer has any value. Let them tell you what your own life is worth. There is no compassion as life fades away. This self-deliverance, the choice you have made. The second single, Proto-Mech, off of 2015's Genexus, had the hook, "Take everything away from me. Replace my skin with circuitry. All that I have bleeding from me to feed the machine. My life is taken to feed the machine." There are plenty more examples, but when Fear Factory began, these topics were all straight out of sci-fi novels and movies. Now, they're our reality. You really have to celebrate Fear Factory coming up with the whole theme of this band. When it comes to the thematic elements of metal bands, a lot of the topics of discussion have become boring and cliche. I've even heard some of you echo that in the comments of my videos. I mean, how many more times do we have to hear a thrash band try and replicate what Slayer did far better 40 years ago? Fear Factory was one of a kind. Now, with all of these prophecies coming true, I personally do fear of what's to come with AI. I may not use AI or have much interest in taking part in this technology that is sure to make man less useful in the years to come, but it's impacting my world. And I will admit sometimes for the better. Take this video, for example. Chances are you're watching this and hopefully enjoying if you've gotten this far, and it's because the algorithm here on YouTube, powered by large language models or LLMs, sent you here, and they knew based on your preferences, this video would appeal to your interests. What I definitely don't like is AI taking over every aspect of our lives. I don't even like modern day technology impacting our every moment as it has, and I may be an anomaly on that. With the weather getting nicer here where I am, it's not uncommon for me to turn off my phone, leave it at home, take a ride to the beaches out here that you see in the openings for all my videos, and just unplug and take it all in. Spend some time with nature. Now, I know that's a foreign concept to many, especially our younger viewers. What if there's an emergency? Look, prior to the 2000s, we all lived life every single day without a device attached to us at all times. Without Siri, without Alexa, without any of this. And for those of us still here now, we've lived to tell about it. Technology is a double-edged sword. And I fear that because these devices have been designed to be so addictive, humanity has lost balance when it comes to it. Some of you understand where I'm coming from. To others of you, I sound like the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. So if the feds are watching this video, no, I'm not planning on sending any bombs in the mail. Don't worry. I will mention a lyric regarding this, though, that resonates with me about this, and it's actually not from Fear Factory and not even from a rock or metal band. The rapper Cannabis once said, "Turn the radio and TV off. Think for a second. Technology is a blessing, but it's also a weapon. A weapon of mass destruction, giving global instructions, teaching us how to hate, but does it in a way that we love it." And he wrote that in 2007, mind you. Pretty ahead of its time, so kudos to Cannabis. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video as I stated earlier. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know what to do. Check out the merch store, as I always mention. Link is in the description. And you guys will notice that's the only thing I plug on here. I'm really doing my best to grow this channel organically without bringing in sponsors and plugging stuff that you guys may or may not have interest in. I'm just plugging my own merch. I don't even have a Patreon or a members only section. And truthfully, it's because I know that's what a lot of content creators are doing right now. But I feel that you end up kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for extra content to give to people. And if I think my content is great and it's something I want out there, I want it out there for the masses. I want everyone who has a YouTube account to have access to it. So I'm, really trying to keep everything free. And the only way we can keep this going is with your support. So whether you could send us a super thanks, check out the merch store, or just simply like and leave a comment, it means a lot. Now, as for Fear Factory and their future, I do have those seeds of doubt regarding what's to come. I mean, Fear Factory has put out 10 releases to date, as I've mentioned earlier, and there's only been one consistent member on all 10 of those records, Burton Bell. Burton was not only the singer, but the primary lyricist for the band. And Burton is no longer in Fear Factory. I've expressed on a previous video just how much I like the new singer Milo Silvestro, and that as a live performer, I'd actually take him over Burton, truthfully. But live performances and new music are two very different animals, and the band has yet to release anything with Milo. Fear Factory, to me, has never put out a bad release. The worst release would probably be Transgression, and fans seem to universally agree on that by and large. But it's still not a bad album, and it definitely has its moments. But to me, a major part of what makes this band so unique are the themes Burton Bell wrote about. Without that, could we really call this Fear Factory? The current band is great live, I'll emphasize that again. But should they really make new music with this lineup? I'm on the fence. I'll certainly not only listen to it, but buy it when it comes out, being as diehard of a fan as I am. I just hope they don't tarnish the Fear Factory name, because the last album, 2021's Aggression Continuum, would be an appropriate way to end the Fear Factory saga. So I just don't want to see them jump the shark after that. Let me know what you guys think about Fear Factory. Like I said, I'm excited for what's to come, but I hope it's to the level of what they've done. What they've done so far has been remarkable. And when I listened to those songs all those years back, I really didn't know we'd be living in the reality we are now. So I think they wrote lyrics more relevant than just about any metal band of that era I can think of. With that, be sure to check out this video right here if you want to hear me comment on Milo Silvestro's vocals live. As I said, I've been really impressed. And on that video, I talk about some other great live vocalists that were replacements for the bands they're singing in.